What's up, YouTube? This is Bystander X79, guys. I'm coming to you today with another deck profile. As you can see, we're going to be doing Cyber Dragons today, guys. Cyber Dragons have gotten a lot of support over this past year, starting with Battle of Legends, Relentless Revenge, Cybernetic Horizon, and the White Dragon Abyss. The deck has become quite consistent and has many more tools and ways to OTK you now. So without further ado, we're just going to hop right into this because we need to get going. Alright, so first and foremost, we're going to be running 3 copies of Cyber Dragon. Alright, Cyber Dragon, level 5 light attribute machine type monster, can special summon itself from your hand when you don't control any monsters and your opponent does. Can't run a Cyber Dragon deck without this card in it. Sorry, you just can't. He's the key to all your fusions and your Xyz plays. So you need to run this guy at 3 because you want to see him as much as possible. This deck doesn't really care going first or second. So having this guy in your hand is always a good idea. Alright, next up we have 3 copies of Cyber Dragon Core. Alright, normal summon this guy. You search out any cyber spell or trap card from your deck. Alright. If this card is in the graveyard and you don't control any monsters, you can banish this guy from the graveyard and special summon a Cyber Dragon right from your deck, which is actually pretty cool. Alright. And all of the newer Cyber Dragon mini monsters all have the same effect. While on the field or in the graveyard, they count as the original Cyber Dragon in name. Alright, so that can open up a lot more plays when it comes to creating certain fusions. Right. Then we got 3 copies of Cyber Dragon Hertz. Alright. Hertz is a level 1 light attribute machine monster which makes it a 1-for-1 target. Pretty awesome. Has a couple effects. Basically, whenever a special summon to the field, you can increase this monster's level to level 5 until the end of your turn, which is pretty good because it can help open up Xyz plays with that particular level modification. Its other effect is if it's sent from the field to the grave, you can add 1 Cyber Dragon monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Okay, and like all of the other Cyber Dragon mini monsters, it has the same effect. It counts as Cyber Dragon as on the field and in the graveyard. So I can tell you right now, this card's second effect really comes into very handy after you do a lot more stuff with this deck. Even turn 1, you could actually probably recycle the next guy out, which is going to be Cyber Dragon Veer. Alright, level 4 light attribute machine 10 monsters can special summon itself whenever you normal or special summon another Cyber Dragon monster, which is actually pretty cool. Can actually power boost every Cyber Dragon monster you have on the field by 500 attack and defense, which is actually pretty awesome. It's a level 4, so it kind of seems a little weird, but when you consider that we have link options now, it can be utilized for link summoning, whether it be the Cyber Dragon link or the other link that we run in the extra deck. Alright, and he's a very good target to bring back with Hertz's effect, since he gets an extra body on the field. Alright, another 1-for-1 target, we have Cyber Pharaohs. Alright, now Cyber Pharaohs, like I said, is a 1-for-1 target, but it can also special summon itself from the hand to the field by tripping a Cyber Dragon monster, which is still cool. It's still a level 1 light attribute machine type monster. Whenever this card's in the graveyard and one of your fusion machine type monsters is destroyed, you can banish this card from your graveyard and search a power bond right to your hand. So it does have some pretty good utility. On field effect, you can use fusion. You can perform a fusion summon without having to use one of the spells, which is also a very good effect to have in case you're in a pinch that you need a fusion monster to bring out. I run them at 1 because this is really all you need. And 1-for-1 target is also a very good handy discard for your next monster, which is going to be 3 copies of Galaxy Soldier. Level 5 light attribute machine type monster. Send 1 light attribute machine monster from your hand to the graveyard, special summon this guy out in defense position, and then you can search out another copy of Galaxy Soldier from your deck to your hand. So it thins your deck out very well. It opens up your Exceeds plays very well. It really needs to be in your deck at 3 so you can see it. And last but not least, we do have the Jizuruku Star Destroying Kaiju. It's in there. It's a pretty bit nasty boss monster. It can take problematic monsters off your opponent's field, can break up the U-boards. So it gives you that extra utility for this deck. Summoning it to the field, but just make sure you want to put it in defense position because it has 2600 attack, and it's a little bit easier for this deck to get over outside of its 3300, unless you already have a power bond in hand, and then you can just swing over it with something big. Alright, so now we're on to the spell cards. First, we're going to start off with 2 Called by the Graves. Everybody knows what this card does by now. It's a quick play spell that can banish a monster from the graveyard to negate that monster's effect for the entire turn. It's used as an anti-hand trap card, or you can use it to shut down any problematic monsters that are on the field if there's an extra copy in the graveyard. Alright, we have 3 Cyber Emergency, sources of light machine type monster that can only be special summoned, or a Cyber Dragon monster from your deck to your hand, which is pretty cool. If this card is ever negated, you can discard a card from your hand to your graveyard to bring back this card and add it to your hand. Just be careful, this is a hard once per turn. You can't use it multiple times in one turn though. We got Cyber Repair Plant. Alright. Right now I'm debating on whether we're pushing this up to from 1 to 2. It does require a bit of a setup because you need to have a Cyber Dragon monster in your graveyard before you get activated. So, it has 2 effects. The first effect is you could add any light attribute machine type monster from your deck to your hand. Others, you can actually take a light attribute machine type monster and shuffle it back into your deck. If you have 3 or more Cyber Dragons in your graveyard, you can actually activate both effects in sequence. First the search, then the shuffle. Alright, Cyber Rev System is next. This card is great because you get the special summon a monster, machine type monster from your, or Cyber Dragon monster from your hand or your graveyard. And that Cyber Dragon cannot be destroyed by card effects for the entire turns on the field. That's pretty awesome bonus for a great play starter. So, alright, Cyber Love Fusion is next. You can shuffle Cyber Dragon monsters from your hand, field, or face up in your banish zone back into your deck. Awesome. And fuse up in a Cyber Dragon, one of the Cyber Dragon monsters in your extra deck to the field. Unfortunately, only that monster can attack for the turn, but considering what you bring out, might actually help you in winning the duel. So, always worth it. 2 copies of Instant Fusion because there will be times you'll be needing to get stuff out of the extra deck fast just to go into certain plays. Limit removal. I've seen a lot of people cutting this card from the decks because they consider it one more. For me, this deck is supposed to be an OTK. Any card that can help you get to that OTK is worth running. This will double all the attack of machine type monsters on the field for the turn. Downside is those monsters are destroyed, but usually if you are activating this card, you're going for game anyway. So, and defensively, you can use it to power up a monster on your fields to prevent it from being destroyed and possibly taking that monster out off of your opponent's field. So, there's that utility. Alright, 2 copies of Machine Duplication. I like it at 2. I see it enough at 2. If I find running this card at 3 kind of cloggy because the 3rd one is usually dead. Basically, you target a machine type monster with 1500 or less attack points, and you special summon 2 monsters with the same name. Alright, so we got plenty of targets in this deck. Main ones you're going to want to be using this card on would be Cyber Dragon Core or even Cyber Dragon Hearse. Primary reasons, what both of these cards are classified as Cyber Dragon while on the field, which means you're actually bringing out 2 copies of the original Cyber Dragon when you target either of these cards with Machine Duplication. And from there, you can just go out on your various plays and hopefully go nuts enough to build a field to OTK your opponent. Alright, Monster Reborn, because you want to extend into your graveyard or your opponent's graveyard just to turn around and take stuff, plays away from them. 1 for 1 because we do have both Hearse and Cyber Pharaohs in the deck, so this is a way to get them out of the deck real fast. Overload Fusion, Fusion your graveyard, call out Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon, or not Fortress, Rampage, excuse me. And then of course you have 2 Power Bonds, a Fusion spell for machine type monsters that will double their attack. Usually activating this card means you're going to be going for game, which is awesome. In case you don't go for game, you will be receiving damage to your life points equal to the original attack of the fusion monster you summoned. So make sure you're in a position to really be able to do that damage to push for game when you activate this card. Alright, Super Poly is yet another quick place fusion spell. Came off the list on the September Banlist, which is awesome. It's there just to turn around and help fusion summon on your opponent's turn. Also set to the grave with this discard card. And last but not least, you have 2 copies of Twin Twisters because back row is a thing. Sky Strikers, all 2 guys, True Dracos, all love that their back row. Taking that back row off the field, gonna be important. Okay, on to the traps. Alright. First and foremost, we have 2 copies of Cybernetic Overflow. Alright. What this trap does is that you can banish any number of Cyber Dragons from your graveyard to destroy an equal number of cards on your opponent's field. So it was a great disruption tool. If this card is ever destroyed on your field and it's in the graveyard, you search your deck for another Cyber spell or trap. So it does replace itself if it's ever destroyed. Alright, I run 1 copy of Cybernetic Revolution. Should be the Cyber Dragon monster off your field. Special summon a fusion type monster that has Cyber Dragon listed as one of its materials. That monster is destroyed at the end of the turn, and it can only attack your opponent's monsters, but it's actually worth it. And of course, I run 2 copies of DNA Surgery. The reason why I'm running DNA Surgery is primarily because of Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon, just to be able to take stuff off the fields. And after Soul Fusion is released, and we have the Thunder Dragon deck to be dealing with in our meta, this card can actually help really mess up that strategy. A lot of those, I know the fusions require Thunder Dragons and Thunder type monsters. With DNA Surgery in the field, you turn those monsters into different types, so they can't use monsters on the field. And I know that there are quite a few effects that actually do require you to have Thunder type monsters on the field in order to be able to do something else. Taking that away from Thunder Dragons severely weakens this deck and puts this deck in a better position to win. Alright, so on to the extra deck. And for the extra deck, to start off with, we got 2 copies of Panzer Dragon. Alright, Panzer Dragon is your instant fusion target. Level 5 light attribute machine, so you know we're going to be going into with the extra deck plays. Even if you don't utilize this card for an extra deck play, whether it be for a fusion, link summon, or Exceed summon, you can just leave this card on the field. Let instant fusion's effect destroy it at the end of the turn, and then when it's destroyed, you can actually then pop one of your opponent's cards. Another thing is that if you want to use it as a tribute fodder, bam, there you go. So there's a great use of utility plays with this card in your deck. Alright, next card. We have 2 copies of Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon. This was the real MVP of the Cyber Dragons back from the Breakers of the Shadow set. A lot of people were very hyped over Infinity being able to negate and steal stuff off your opponent's field, but this guy was the one that really OTK'd your opponent. Basically, Fish summon this using multiple Cyber Dragon monsters, depending on the number of you use in the fusion summon, depends on how many spell and trap cards you can destroy. In this particular format, with Sky Strikers and Alter Guys being kind of a big ding in this meta, you will be taking out their back row 1, 2, 3. Alright, send 1 or 2 monsters from your deck to your graveyard, and it can gain extra attacks as well. So this was your OTK engine. It's always going to be an OTK engine. I like running it too. I really have needed a third, so. Alright. Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. DNA Surgery works insanely well to build into a huge Fortress Dragon for this play. Turn everything into machines, summon the Cyber Dragon, any monster that's Cyber Dragon on the field, any contact views, boom, you just broke the extra link board. And you have anywhere from a 6,000 to 7,000 point attack point monster right here on the field. So, another way to beat the U-Link is Chimera Tech Mega Fleet Dragon. Basically, it takes any Cyber Dragon monster on the field, and preferably both monsters in the extra monster zones to break it. Just a reminder, you can use any Cyber Dragon monster, including your opponent's one, to actually create this card. So keep that in mind when you're summoning it. Alright, I have Cyber Twin Dragon. Primary reason why is it takes 2 monsters to fuse to summon and it can attack twice. Bringing it out with Power Bind gives it 5,600 attack, so that's nothing to sneeze at. I also have Cyber End Dragon, plenty of fuse it with 3 Cyber Dragon monsters. It has 4,000 attack points. With Power Bond, it goes up to 8. You can inflict piercing damage if your opponent tries to hide from you. You bring it out using Cybernetic Revolution. I mean, I think this is the preferred monster to bring out with that card. So there you go. All right. Now for the Xyz monsters, I'm only running 4. I'm just running the Cyber Dragon Nova Suite, which is 2 copies of Cyber Dragon Nova, which is pretty awesome. Detaching material, target a monster in your graveyard, special summon it to your field, which is actually pretty good. Crash this card into a bigger monster, and you could special up a machine type fusion monster like Cyber End Dragon from your extra deck as well. But most of the times when you get this guy in the field, you're going to be going into your one of your 2 copies of Cyber Dragon Infinity. I find this is a great turn 1 play just to get this card on the field because its negations and its ability to take monsters off your opponent's field just makes it extremely good. Alright. Also gains 200 attack for every overlay unit. It attaches it's attached to it, so it's actually pretty damn good when you start taking your opponent's attack position monsters. If you want to run more rank 5s in this deck, Constellar Pleiades and number 61 Volcasaurus are the 2 best choices to run in the deck if you want more rank 5 plays. Just cut the stuff out you don't need or don't like. I have 1 copy of Cyber Dragon Seeger. All I really need is 1. Needs 2 Cyber Dragons to link summon it. If this card doesn't attack, you can actually turn around and take its attack and add it to a Cyber Dragon monster that it's pointing to, which is actually pretty cool. Power boost that monster, and if it's a multi-attack point monster, yeah, you're going to be doing some serious damage with it. Because it's a Cyber Dragon monster while in the field in the graveyard, so that's not a mistake right there. That it feeds into the rest of the strategy of a lot of the smaller monsters, so you can actually build into your fusions. Alright. And last but not least, I'm running 2 copies of Hip Hoshigan. Basically, 2 light attribute monsters. The deck is all light attribute monsters, so it's easy to get out. Bumps up all light attribute monsters by 500 attack and defense. If this card is ever destroyed by battle or card effect, you can get a light attribute monster back from your graveyard to your hand, which just makes this deck just a little bit better. So, with that being said, guys, this is my Cyber Dragon deck profile for the September 2018 ban list. If you liked the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more content like this on my channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button, enable notifications so you don't miss any videos that I post. Guys, check out my discussion tab on my main page to see what I did at Comic-Con, as well as my analysis for the Danger deck going into the next format after Soul Fusion drops. So, until next time, guys, peace.